Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode of The AI Operator, the podcast where we explore the intersection of AI, sales operations, and really the future of business. Today, we have a very special guest. We're hosting Christian Bonnier, a powerhouse in the world of outbound sales and cold email strategy. Christian, he's the founder of ListKit, a co-founder of ListKit. And really, ListKit is a cutting-edge lead generation platform that delivers triple verified, if I'm not wrong, triple verified B2B contacts that helps businesses scale with data-driven precision. Under his leadership, ListKit's rapidly become a go-to resource for high-performing sales teams backed by a database of over 600 million contacts and a reputation for world-class delivery. I know so. I use them myself. Christian brings deep expertise to the table, having personally sent over 1 million cold emails and generated more than 5 million in revenue from his outbound efforts alone. He's also been recognized as one of the top email marketing experts of 2025 and regularly shares actionable insights to help entrepreneurs grow faster and smarter. But it doesn't stop there. Christian recently went viral on TikTok with an hilarious yet insightful video about why Gen Z is so depressed, diving into the idea of third places. We'll talk about that a little bit, and the lack of community in modern life. The clip actually sparked national conversation. I saw him on the news, and it landed him on the news, further showcasing his ability to blend cultural relevance with business. Please join me in welcoming to the show, Christian Bonnier.
Hell yeah, that was a good intro, dude. I don't know how you riffed that, but props.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you, man. And for our listeners, obviously, this podcast is the intersection of kind of AI and business, and some of the amazing relationships I have out there. And me and Christian met at Funnel Hacking Live, actually, which was the last Funnel Hacking Live, technically, and it was an amazing event. We had a ton of fun, learned a lot. I don't think either of us sat in a single session while we were there. So,
Yeah.
But how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Just been grinding away, working and mixing in some fun in there and try not to get sick. Everyone's getting sick around me lately, knock on wood.
Man, just so everyone knows, we had to reschedule this podcast because I got hit with COVID. And I've had COVID many times, but this one just knocked me out. It was no fun, but we're back here. We're in Nicaragua now, so weather's amazing. Finally healing up and kind of back on business. So, dude, let's talk about third places real quick. I think that's an important one. Where did you come up with that name first? Is where I'm curious. Like, is that something you came up with, or like I've never actually heard that phrase? But it makes sense. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I literally saw my good friend Noah, actually, shout out Noah Ryan, he tweeted about it and I was like, this is a sick idea. So I texted him, I'm like, if you don't want to make this a TikTok right now, I'm going to. And he's like, go for it. So I just made a video saying how nobody in this generation really has a place outside of work and home. Like, sure, bars still exist, these places still exist, but people don't frequent them as much. Yeah. So I just made a video talking about how this generation is a lot less likely to go sit at the pub after work or, go to the golf course and do things socially. And it just blew up like, I don't even know, like 7 million views, and Fox News covered it. And it was pretty crazy, which is a testament to, TikTok in general. You can just open your phone and get millions of eyeballs for $0. So they actually pay you to get the eyeballs, which is fun. So
yeah, no. One of my first guests, I was with Danny Sulliger, and I don't know if you've seen what he's doing. He used to have an Instagram called Coolness, and he had 1.8 million followers, and he wanted to continue to teach people how to do social media, and so he got the great idea to delete that social account, which was crazy. And he's like, I'm rebuilding it. And when he told me that originally, I was like, that was a hot take. You know what I mean? Like, man. And so he was doing a 60-day challenge. He's on day like 41. He's all the way up to 38,000 followers, I think, and over 8 million impressions on a brand new account. So it's pretty cool what you can do with it. Sometimes it's a little bit of luck. Sometimes it's a lot of intention behind it.
Yeah.
So similar to cold email, and we'll talk about that. I definitely want to dive into that. Um, but third places, man, is always interesting to me because, like you said, I know so many business owners who are just so focused on work that they start to lose the family aspect, or
Yeah.
they have a good balance of family and work, but they have no hobbies. And I always encourage my team and my employees to make sure you have at least like one primary hobby. That you can do that kind of keeps you, sane, if you will.
Yeah.
What are some of your hobbies, man? What do you like to do?
Yeah. I mean, if I'm not working, my weekday hobbies, I guess I'll call them, are just like working out, walking to the gym, walking home, going out to eat with a buddy, getting a cigar, um, watching some sporting event, going to a hockey game. So like minor weekday activities are pretty simple. Then on the weekends, love to golf, tennis, pickleball, basketball, go to the beach, travel, just do fun things that,
Yeah.
let you reset from the work week and get ready to go on Monday, because I personally don't like working too much on the weekends. My philosophy is like, if I'm around for the next 30 years doing this straight, I need to make it sustainable. And some people are like hustle mindset, like work 7 days, like get ahead of your competitors. And I'm like, if you're gonna build this lifestyle with all your hard work, you might as well still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Especially while we're young and able. Um, so I just, work is obviously the main focus, Monday to Friday, and sometimes Saturday and Sunday if it needs to be. But big fan of, traveling, trying new places, staying active, following my sports teams, things like that. So
Who is your
what
sports
about you?
team?
So I'm a Steelers fan in the NFL. I've been a fan since I was a kid. I just took a liking to them when I was younger for some reason, and it stuck. Um, Baseball, Yankees, they've kind of like made me very sad, and I just kind of gave up on baseball because they spend the most money and they just can't win.
Yeah.
Since
Yeah,
I
that
was like
is wild.
9. Yeah.
And how much more money they spend is like crazy.
Yeah, there's no salary cap in baseball, so they spend like $400 million a year, and they still can't beat the Rays, who spend like 80. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Um, Hockey's the Lightning. I didn't care for hockey until I got to Tampa, and then I moved in like down the road from the arena. So I was like, I'll be a Lightning fan, and they've like ascended to, honestly, the Steelers are my favorite always, but the Lightning have risen the rank of teams that I care about. And then basketball is the Warriors. I'm just a Steph Curry guy. I have been since he was in college. People call me a bandwagon for that, but they haven't been super good lately, and I'm still a fan. Once Curry's gone, though, I'm probably never going to watch the NBA just because I think it's a shitty product nowadays. But
Yeah.
uh, yeah,
Nice, man.
yeah,
Hockey's
yeah,
fun. I moved to Arizona about eight. I was in Scottsdale. Moved there about 8 years ago before I started traveling full time, and always loved going to the Coyotes games. Those are a ton of fun. But they ended up like changing the stadium. I haven't been to one in a long time, but those are always a good time. So, um, cool, man. Well, I love it. Yeah, that work-life balance is super important. I think so many people got like caught on the hustle life, the hustle culture,
yeah,
and like it became so popular. I think there's this big shift of people realizing that like it has to be sustainable. And what's it all for at the end of the day? I went through a big kind of like eye-opening experience last year of that exact thing of like, man, like, I was doing all this to send money back to my parents or retire my parents and do all this. And then there was a part of me that was like, wait a second, like, what if I die tomorrow? Right. Like, I didn't even get to retire them yet. And like all of it was for like nothing. And then I was like, like what does my mom really want? She wants time with me. You know what I mean? Like she wants to spend time with me. She could care less about having an extra 4 grand a month in her bank account.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, man, I've been definitely finding a balance. Lots of surfing out here, which is my favorite thing on the planet right now, and definitely a solid reset. So
Hmm.
love that, man.
Yeah,
Um,
man. I've never. It's weird because I'm like athletic in the sense that I'm like coordinated and I can accurately hit a golf ball and throw a football, but like anything with a board under me, I can't. Skateboarding, surfing, nothing. I'm
yeah,
terrible, but I want to come try surfing.
come down, come down, man. You're welcome anytime. We got an extra bedroom. It's a pretty
Hell
pretty
yeah.
cool little culture down here. But
Yeah, is it like, are you right by the beach?
yeah, I got like 3 of like some of the best surf breaks in the world, like 5 minutes from my house.
Wow.
So I just hop on my motorcycle, throw my surfboard on there, cruise down there. I'll probably go right around, I don't know, a couple hours from now. We'll go get a little sunset surf. And yeah, man, it's nothing but flip flops, board shorts, and motorcycles. Like some of my favorite things on the planet.
It sounds pretty chill, dude. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah,
I
it's
feel
not
like,
bad.
yeah, that's
Cool, man. Well, so obviously, in the intro, I was talking a lot about ListKit. So we are using ListKit for RevPilot, which is pretty exciting. We just got started with you guys not too long ago,
yep.
and I've been really impressed so far with the infrastructure and how you guys have been able to build out everything from kind of all the domains and connecting the domains to the emails, and there's a lot that goes into it. I'm not an email guy myself, or even a marketing guy. I'm more on the sales ops side, obviously. So it's cool to see that. Um, how long have you been kind of in the marketing space? And I would love to know like what trends and things you have seen kind of shift over the last like 2 years. I feel like marketing has just been constantly shifting. Um, Before it was all about paid ads and, paid ads were amazing. And then, ad costs started going up and half the companies I
Yeah.
work with are not profitable on any of their ads. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
work with some other people that are kind of profitable. So tell me about kind of that trend that you've seen over the last few years and where you think marketing is going, especially with the introduction of like AI into everything.
Yeah. I mean, I'm an email. I do cold email for a living. But I think even above email, just having a brand, like a personal brand that people trust and respect is paramount over anything. Just because like, if number one, a personal brand will bring you inbound leads with people saying take my money for free without any acquisition cost. Two, if you cold email somebody and you're a well-known, like imagine Gary Vee did a cold email campaign to a list of CEOs. They'd be like, I get to get on a call with Gary Vee. He would print meetings, right? Um, and then, if people respect you as a brand and they see your ads, that's just going to add to the conversion of your ads as well. So especially with AI where, cold email is going to get a lot more automated. Ads are going to get scary with like AI personas and stuff. As a human being, if someone can come see you on a stage or meet you in person or watch your YouTube videos, I think that's above all what's going to matter in business. Um, but then, of course, just diversifying because, we run ads, we do email, we post content, we do sponsorships, we do joint ventures. So I think having your hand in every basket is going to be important as well. Because who knows where Facebook goes with their ad stuff and, YouTube and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, like people are like, "Oh, cold email is a lot harder to get results with," which might be true, but relative to ad costs, like it's still extremely more economical to have a cold email campaign converting.
Yeah.
We uh, on ads right now we're paying I think anywhere from like 1,500 to 2 grand acquisition cost to acquire a client, which is scalable, but it's expensive because it's like, damn, we got to spend this much to get a client, right? Whereas once you get a winning cold email angle, and it does take a little bit to find that, um, you know, realistically, your customer acquisition cost could easily be lower than 2 grand.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like ads attract not necessarily tire kickers, but um, once the algorithm locks in on who they're going to target with your ads, it's like you just deal with the same kind of people over and over again. Like our pixel must love like these insurance guys and these credit funding guys because that's who we sign a lot of people on. Um, Whereas with email, you can kind of dictate who you want to reach out to in terms of using ListKit to build a list of leads, right? So,
Yeah.
um, long story short, build a personal brand, dabble with everything. Like we're setting up LinkedIn ads today. I'm launching a cold email campaign today. I'm making a YouTube video today. I'm hopping on a podcast. So just being omnipresent and, the more people that know your face, the better, right?
Yeah, I love that, man. I love the word omnipresent. We use that a lot with my time at mastermind.com, and we would do our big launch. We get 1 million opt-ins in a couple weeks. And the idea there is exactly that, omnipresent. Like let's be on everyone's podcast, right? Let's have them on our podcast. So let's have $300,000 worth of ad spend running every day for the next 2 weeks. Like it was like every little, let's hit our entire list. Let's have affiliates hitting their entire list. But the diversification, I think, is what I've been leaning into most, even internally for RevPilot. I've had so many clients that, everything was through Instagram DMs, and then boom, their account gets shut down and they're
Yeah.
done. Like their business is gone
Yep.
overnight. Or they depend on 100% ads and their ad account gets shut down. And they went from spending 150 grand a day to nothing. So I think that's really, really important. And what I've been encouraging my team is like, hey, like we don't need $1 million per lead source. It's like, you know what I mean? We need like 100 grand from this one, 100 grand from that one. Like, and it all adds up to $1 million a month. Like, so I think it's really important. So that's why I've been excited with the cold email. Yeah, man, obviously AI, this podcast is called the AI operator, right? So we've been using AI in all kinds of different pieces of our operations internally and externally for our clients.
Yep.
But I'm interested because marketing's a funny world right now. You got like copy that you can write like decently well, with AI. And I can always tell when someone wrote a
Yeah.
copy with AI, and then you have the people who tried to write it and then like fixed it a little bit, but they still didn't have enough creativity to like make it their own.
Yeah.
Um, when do you think we're really going to be in a world where you can just drop something into Chat GPT and it'll, or whatever you're using, Claude, and have it spit out copy that's like good enough that you wouldn't be able to tell? Or do you think we'll ever really arrive in a world like that?
I think we're kind of there now if you have the right knowledge base for it. Like
Yeah.
I use Claude for a lot of my stuff and I fed it like all the info I possibly could, and it's pretty good at learning what I like, how I speak and stuff like that. So, um, I mean, yeah, I think it's all about the inputs. Like it's if you're just freeballing it, it's not going to be good. But if it's if you're training it with the right stuff, it's pretty damn good in my opinion. But
Yeah. Yeah. That's the free balling part is pretty funny. Oh, did we cut out there? Yeah.
nope, I'm here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the free balling part's pretty funny because like right now AI is like moving so fast, and
Yeah,
the skill gap is like expanding so quickly. And like for people listening to this podcast, we kind of have people on both sides. We have people like exploring AI for the first time ever, and then we have people who are like pretty deep in AI. But that skill gap, it's like if you ever play Call of Duty, like we got some younger listeners, right? Like Call of Duty players go try to play like Fortnite, and you get on Fortnite and you're like, these kids are cracked, right? They're just running around like little psychopaths. And the skill gap was like, it wasn't even fun for people. Like people quit playing Fortnite because the skill gap was so big between
yeah,
a good player and like someone just trying to have fun on the
yeah,
weekend.
yeah,
Um, and that's kind of what I'm seeing in AI right now is like you have people that are just absolutely cranking with AI, and other people who are like kind of opening ChatGPT here and there. And it's a really interesting world because if you don't really invest intention, I guess, into these things, they don't work as well as you would hope they would a lot of
yeah,
times. But if you do, to your point, and you prompt it correctly and you ask the right questions and you think creatively, it's incredible what it can do.
100%.
Um, we're launching a beverage product, me and my girlfriend.
Oh no,
Kind of a side project. It's going to be really cool. But we ChatGPT just launched their new AI image generator, and we just
mm,
oh, these images came out, and they're like, I got so excited. It was one of those things like all I needed was to see it and be like, oh, this is it. It's a $1 billion brand. Um, have you played around with the new image generator at all?
yeah. I was using this is my hat brand, so I put out a tweet and I was like, I don't believe in this yet, and I put a photo of my hat up and I said, who can make me a good image? And the replies were really funny. Um, I think it works better for like it kind of messed up the font on the hat, which was
Yeah.
annoying. But if you have just like an object that's pretty easy to replace, like put this in a desert with like a palm tree, it's like really damn good.
Yeah.
Um,
It's crazy. What's your favorite AI tool right now?
I love Claude just because it's
Makes
primarily
sense.
writing is what you know, replacing myself with a brain that can write like me is my main use for AI right now. And I think Claude is the best at writing, at least from what I've tried. So I definitely use Claude every day to not only does it not replace my work, but it's like a second perspective. Like, hey, write a sequence for me, and I can, you know, pick ideas from what it puts out that I wouldn't have written on my own. I'm not into like the AI processes that you're working on, which look pretty insane. Um, but ListKit is going to be my new favorite AI tool here in the next couple months because we are working on a lot of exciting things over there.
I love that.
AI outbound, researching prospects, writing sequences, all that fun stuff. So
Amazing. That's good
yeah,
to hear. Um, yeah, I mean, I figured it would be Claude because it's like the one for writing. I would love, I know a lot of copywriters, and I feel like every copywriter's got a kind of interesting story of like how they got into copywriting, right? Especially like depending on how good they are. What
yeah.
was your kind of journey of like getting into copywriting? Because there's a lot of listeners that want to be copywriters, or it's
Right.
an appealing role, especially like being able to be remote and travel like I do. I think that's more of a facade a lot of times. But how did you get into the copywriting in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a good writer. Like, I published a book on Amazon in college, which was pretty random, but COVID definitely gave me the time to do that. But took a course at the end of college that was all about cold email. And there was not a lot of training on the market at that time. Like, we signed a couple clients, and I was just figuring it out as I went. Um, but it's really just reps. I mean, you could be a good writer and put in reps and be good, or you can be a bad writer and put in reps and be good. Like, I've written, I don't even know how many sequences of cold email in my life. It's probably in the thousands. At this point, I can pretty much just like pull out, you know, different ideas from my brain. Like, oh, put this offer here, put a video pitch, like we were doing yesterday on the Zoom call. Um, it's like riding a bike. Like at this point, I don't really think about it. But like writing long form sales pages, I'm not as good at as I am with writing email. So, if I were to sit down and just look at a blank Google Doc, it would take me a lot longer to get my rhythm going. So it's all about reps. Like if I wrote a sales letter a day for 2 years, I would probably open a Google Doc and just rip away and write one, right? So it's like just all about how many times you practice it.
Like everything in life, right? But dude, you should be able to pay for that cold email course, right? And become a professional like by 7 days.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. I mean, like writing's so interesting because let's say you want to learn what's a good example here? Let's say you want to learn how to set up a HubSpot account for a business. Like once you learn the SOP in your head, you can just do it. But with copy, it's like every scenario is not the same, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. Like you're just given a blank page and it's like go create something. It's not like, oh, connect this to HubSpot, Zapier. Like
Yeah.
I think it's getting the knowledge to have the thought processes to like know where to lead the
Yeah.
copy, if that makes sense.
No, it does. I mean, so at RevPilot, one of the things we really focus on is like principles, right? Like with sales ops and operations, and like that is really important to us because it does allow like at a low level, like yeah, you can just go connect Zapier and like you just do the same thing on repeat, right? But like at the same time, like and what separates an automation specialist from like us, is the strategy piece, which is like ultimately why are we doing any of this in the first place,
Yeah.
and really being able to connect the dots. And that's where when we go into organizations, we see a lot of challenges because you have like a low level tech guy and then you have like the CEO and then like the CEO is like, oh yeah, I need this. And then the tech guy just like goes into the weeds and like builds a bunch of shit, and it's like, cool. Like, but we're like we missed the connection between the vision and like the point of this whole thing and like the nerd who just wanted to build something really cool, and he just built this thing and it's like So yeah, bridging the gap is super important, and kind of having those, those principle level like thought processes is I think important in any business. So makes
Yeah.
total sense, man. Um, so if you were to give one tip to our audience on how to write better copy with Claude, what would that be?
I mean, I'll be honest, just go find emails written from your favorite personality in the space,
Yeah.
and just download the copy and upload it to Claude and say, write me a good email. And then just honestly, it sounds dumb, but what I did back in the day is I would like handwrite stuff over. So if like I would take a look at 1950s vintage ads and I would just write on pen and paper what I was reading just to give myself like
Mm,
oh, this is what a good copywriter does with sentence structure and verbiage and not using too many words. Cause some of the biggest issues I see with cold email, especially with the copy, is people just try to say too many things in one sentence. Like we can supercharge your outreach with B2B cold email and LinkedIn so you get 10 calls a month and close 4 clients and scale your business by 50K. It's like, oh my God, there's so much going on here.
yeah.
Where if I just say we can help you add 50K in top line revenue from cold email every month, it's like, okay, that makes sense. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That was actually like, I studied a little bit of like, copy. And one of the most interesting ones was like the importance of using like smaller words and
Yeah.
like basic language. And I forget what that, it was something encyclopedia. I forget what was the name of it, but it was really cool. You could drop your copy in there and it would rate it based on like what like level of English it was, like grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. And like
Huh.
you'd be surprised. Like you put your stuff in there and it's like way too high of a level compared to like, I think you want like fifth grader level or something. I forget what it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and you're writing like a high schooler, and it's like it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. Like no one's going to think you're smarter because you're using a bunch of big words, and then ultimately you lose the that I wouldn't say persuasion, but the you lose what's important, the context to it.
Yeah. You're not as compelling.
Yeah.
100%.
Awesome, man. Well, I really appreciate you hopping on today, man. And pouring a little bit of insights into like, where we're at with, copywriting and, the state of AI when it comes to marketing. And my biggest takeaways, I guess, really are like, it's intention behind what you do. And don't recreate the wheel. That was like the last piece we just talked about. Is like, don't recreate the wheel. Like there's been amazing copywriters throughout all of history, right? Go in and like adapt, take what they have, learn from them.
Yeah.
I think the intricacies are what's really interesting to me, which is like things like you said, like a sentence structure, right? Um, and some of the smaller stuff. So any of you using AI, like remember to prompt it to, give you information about that when you're doing that, so you can understand more of like the principles, that are in the underlying copy. Because just copying the copy is not going to help you probably as much as
Yeah.
you think it is,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah. And the cool part with cold email is, if you send a newsletter out, you don't know how good it's written because you don't really, I mean, unless you're trying to book calls, it's not really going to give you that feedback loop. But with cold email, you can literally say, this wasn't written well enough because I didn't get any responses. I need to rewrite it. Okay, this got 10 positive responses. Something was good about this angle. Let me replicate that. And you just, fine tune that feedback loop until you can basically say, these few things are what's going to help me get results. And that's what I need to focus on. Right.
yeah, I love that, man. Good stuff. Well, I'm excited about our email campaign. And for anyone listening,
100%.
anyone that wants to check out ListKit, I'll have all the links down in the description below. So go ahead and definitely check them out. Schedule a call to talk with their team, and get set up. Make sure you're diversifying your marketing strategy. You're not got all your eggs in one basket. I see it all too often. I watch businesses shut down overnight because they're depending on one marketing channel. So definitely talk with them, learn more about what they do. And Christian's been an absolute asset to our team and getting that rocking and rolling and getting positive, responses. So, um, but yeah, thanks again, man, for popping on today. I'm excited for some future conversation. I'm excited to learn more about what ListKit's going to be doing with the AI and those other things. So, um, Where can they find you as far as your social media, like you personally?
Yeah, my CB Writes Copy is like my handle for everything except for Instagram. And then my Instagram is christianb.23. I'm pretty active on every platform besides LinkedIn. I don't really check LinkedIn, but
Awesome.
um, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, hit me up, message me if you have any questions about cold email. But yeah.
Cool, man. We'll put all the links in the description below. And yeah, dude, good luck with the TikTok journey, man. I know it's a big item on your 2025. So we'll don't forget about me once you're like super famous and dancing for a living.
Yeah, man. I yap for a living, but never forget about you, bro.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate it. Cheers.